Hi everybody, it's Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blue Shirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers!
Blue Shirt Underground, motherfucker!
BSU Ranger fan. BSU Ranger fan. This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers hockey.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Shirt Underground Show. Today is Tuesday. It is March the 4th. Undefeated in March, New York Ranger hockey. We are ready to talk about it. My name is Jim, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir.
Hello.
I'll ask you right off the top, the chat room wants to know, are we back? The show's back.
Show's back. I guess. I mean, well, a virtual tie for the last wild card. I mean, I guess we're kind of back. I mean, they got to beat some good teams that play consistently. But, yeah, I guess very surprising. I don't know where we are right now. I can't go as far as we're back right now.
It's going to be tough sledding the rest of the year. But, yes, they are statistically tied with an edge in regulation wins, with Detroit, I believe, having a game at hand, Ottawa having a game at hand. I haven't looked at I haven't refreshed the standings yet today, but they are in the mix. And, you know, all of a sudden those, Joe, 5 teams to climb over. They're all behind them now. They're all in the rearview mirror.
A lot of teams have Montreal is surging, though. They've won like 5 games in a row. Cole Caulfield's going off. But yes, a lot of teams have floundered. I think the Islanders certainly have mailed it in. I mean, how good was it to crush those idiots, those morons, the infirm twice? But the first game we shut them out. The Islanders kind of had the better of the play. This game, the Islanders were on lockdown. Shut up.
Well, the first game was 5-1.
Right. Oh, it wasn't a shutout. Okay, I'm sorry.
But they do have back-to-back shutouts, Nashville and the Islanders.
And the Islanders.
Nothing shutouts.
Right, yes. Consecutive shutouts, not against the Islanders. I guess that's what I got confused.
But 2 spankings of the Islanders.
Yes. And you know, it was good to see Shesty play very well. He played very well in that shutout. Because they're going to need him to steal games. Not that he was super tested, but when he was asked to perform, he performed that at his type of level. And there's a lot of confusing feelings I have about this team.
Yes, very conflicting.
I'm a conflicted Ranger fan. So I don't know how excited I should be, how pleasantly surprised I should be. R.I.P. my friend Frankie. I don't know. I
was also very happy. I had suggested that the Rangers go after Tanner Glass and Aaron Astrom for like the 3rd year in a row. If they didn't get Tanner Glass, who I wanted them to get, because he had like 250 hits in only 70 minutes in penalties. But I can understand getting Aaron Ashram.
I don't know when he says pleasantly surprised in that clip. It's taking too long to get there.
Yeah.
Eddie, you talk. Frankie, you talk too much.
Thank you. ZR Striker. Billy Milano, baby. Number one. I'm actually friends with the guy. I hate to be one of those dropping the names, but he's a hell of a guy. Just don't cross him. He's got no don't cross the line with him, because then he buries you forever. Anyway, but a hell of a guy if he's your friend. I will tell you that much. Which we are friends. Anyway, getting back to the Rangers hockey. I'm very conflicted, Jim. I have a couple takes. I don't know if they're hot takes. What makes a hot take? Is it just a quick snap reaction?
No, I believe a hot take. I believe the definition of a hot take is maybe a take that not everyone else has.
Oh, I think I got a hot take then.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you ready for my hot
I got
take?
hot cakes, sausage and
hot cakes.
Hot cakes. That's what I
Yeah,
don't
we mean they're called hot cakes. Eddie's hot cakes. Well, I got my sauces, right? We got our sauces.
Sauces and hot cakes.
The hot cakes. It's all
Right.
about food with me.
Right.
All right, here's a hot cake. We've been discussing how bad Drury has been, how subpar we think Laviolette has been. Is it a hot cake to say, listen, they've made some deals. They've brought in players from these deals. They've kind of weathered a storm of just sinking, continually sinking. We got guys like Will Borgen. We got guys like JT Miller, who has been nothing but stellar since he came to the Rangers. Can we all agree on that? Okay.
No argument from me. The C is imminent on his sweater.
Yes.
Imminent.
We've seen the development of Will Cooley, although it's not as fast as we thought, because not him, but the coaching staff took a long time to recognize his. Now he's killing penalties now.
Yep.
Finally, they're coming around to Will Cooley. With all these changes, the Rangers could have just traded these guys for unserviceable bums, like when they acquired that Kaliev guy, who is a total utter bum. I'm waiting for you to get the sound effect.
and seems to have been cast aside at this point.
Yeah.
You are a bum.
Are you hearing the sound effect okay,
Yes,
by the way?
Perfect.
I spent an anxiety-ridden 45 minutes trying to fix that. I'm glad I got it fixed.
So my hot cake is this.
Hot cakes.
Isn't our Drury and Laviolette, to a degree, deserve some credit for keeping this team above water. They could be drowning. They could have been a drowning victim. What are they, 6 games over 500? With all these machinations and changes and player personnel coming in and out and at the revamped defense. Adam Fox is hurt. Chris Kreider is hurt. Both of these guys might not even come back. I mean, Kreider probably, Fox is. Do they deserve some props? Although I will, again, the caveat is, I think Drury really created this entire mess. But does he deserve some props for getting some players in here for garbage?
Well, I think it's a I guess it's a double-edged sword, right? He created some of this mess. I think some of the hard feelings, which I don't care which side of the fence you're on, they're professional athletes, suck it up, Nancy. But if you're on that side of the fence, or if you're on, these are human beings, and this is a shitty thing to go through side. I think we could all agree that some things were handled poorly.
Yes.
I think we could all agree that this is a GM who maybe doesn't have the best people skills.
I think we all know that.
Right. And I think we could all agree that there's some failure on the part of the coach. Maybe, coming around a little too slowly to get some guys some playing time, maybe some failure to make adjustments at times. But at the same time, the Rangers have gotten pretty I was thinking about this last night. They've gotten pretty steady play from a fourth line that's had a bunch of different moving parts, whether it be Adam Edstrom, Matt Rempe, at times Jimmy Vesey, which we didn't even get to that part of the trade, that trade from the other day yet. Jimmy Vesey's been on that fourth line a little bit. Sam Carrick, who has been very solid, not going to score a lot of goals, not going to give you a lot of offense, but he's been a reasonable fill-in for Barclay Goodrow at a third of the price. So I don't, there's two sides of this argument. And I think the other thing that you have to give the Rangers coaching staff, front office, whatever, credit for is that there's been a pretty decent next man up mentality with this team, because they have had some injuries, and Zach Jones has filled in very nicely. And I gotta say, I said it last night in the group, and I'll say it here for all to hear, for the millions watching around the world, watching us on the International Space Station. This is getting beamed out by SETI or whatever you call them, people that broadcast the alien planets. They are broadcasting. Keandre Miller's played pretty well. And now he finds himself the first line pairing with Will Borgen. And I thought defensively last night and against Nashville, pretty solid. And Toronto, in the Toronto game, and then before that was the last Islander game. The Islander game, they gave up a lot of shots. That was all Igor, that win at the IBS Arena. But they've done a pretty good job with the next man up mentality here. Vakanainen and Borgen were two guys that nobody in this chat room had ever heard of.
There is not one person.
None of you had heard of either one of these guys in October or November. And Borgen's now here for the next 5 years. And Vakanainen might not be going anywhere either, because him and Braden Schneider have been pretty good together.
Yeah, he had a couple rough spots, Vakanainen, but on an overall basis, he plays with Schneider. He's been steady, and
he's been fine.
What you saying?
He's been fine, contributing.
Yeah, he's been fine.
Goals, right? He's got a couple of goals.
I feel that this all could fall apart tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We could
Absolutely.
be fucking next week. My hot cake will be fucking Chris Drury is that won't be much of a hot cake. Well, what is not a hot cake is the fact that one thing I've learned about the Rangers this year is they're absolutely horrible at player development. Because everybody's gone. Lafreniere has taken a step backwards. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if Jed Ortmeyer or whoever's they've got some lackey in there.
Wade Redden,
absolutely
player development.
Yeah. I wish, things would have been different, but now we're, the bar is set low. The bar is to make the playoffs. It is, but I feel like what you said, the next man up mentality, even Zibanejad is starting to score. Panarin seems to be coming around now. I feel like they got the somewhat good vibes now, even though they can't beat a decent team. But there's plenty of garbage teams in this fucking conference that are all behind us or in front of us for the wild card. Columbus Blue Jackets, they've been a surprise. Detroit Red Wings. All these teams behind us and in front of us, I think we're just as good as or better which doesn't say a lot in the grand scheme of things. But they could have just died. They had plenty of excuses why they died. They made trades. They sold off. Go ahead.
No. Go finish your thought.
No, I was just going to say they could have just flopsy-mopsied and just said, listen, we're done. The season's a failure. We were President
in September.
Yeah, see you in September. We
Right.
President Trophy, but guess what? We're just a colossal disappointment.
Right. We'll see you in September. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting center, Matt Belzile.
Yes, exactly. It could have been like, and like people alluded in the chat room, Fat Cats started a revolt when their favorites went, when the room went. And it did look like that at one point. I think there's a valid argument that they were in Operation Shutdown. Nobody's back checking anymore. Nobody's trying to they're not putting the effort in it takes to win a hockey game, which is you've got to come back and play defense. And I think that was missing with a lot of the players that, and they kind of shuffled the deck and they still are staying afloat. I think there's got to be something to be said for that.
For sure. I think so. And I don't necessarily agree with the narrative, and I hate that word, that they don't beat good teams, because they have beaten some good teams. The problem is more of a consistency issue, because for every win against Columbus, who they're a good team, and every win against Vegas, who is in their first place team, there have been 8-2 losses to Buffalo. There have been some good wins against good teams, but then they've come out and laid eggs, like the Pittsburgh game a few weeks ago and that Buffalo game.
And then the Toronto loss, the way that ended, was kind of a sting too. But they didn't play bad in that game.
No, I didn't think they did either. They outshot Toronto 35-16. I mean, with all apologies to the great Steve Schaefer, longtime listener, longtime group member, great guy, but he's a family friend of Anthony Stolarz. If you'd have told me Friday afternoon the Rangers were getting 35 shots on Anthony Stolarz, I would have said, at least 4 are going in the net. We're winning this game tonight. Come on. He played very well.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally correct.
I mean, and if you tell me the Rangers are holding Toronto to 16 shots, I'm like, oh, it'd be a 5-1 Ranger win.
Wasn't that the game where Igor made the mistake when he tried to clear it around the boards?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a horrible mistake by him.
I mean, the Rangers did everything you could possibly want except win in that game. Outshot Toronto, out-face-offed them. They were 0-for-3 on the power play. I mean, that's going to always hurt the Rangers. Toronto blocks 25 shots. They get the early goal in the third period from Cooley to tie it, and they just didn't win. Some nights you just lose. That was just one of those nights where you just lose.
Well, when Cooley got that goal, I felt like, to use the parlance of the kids, we were Gucci. We were Gucci. I really had that vibe. And then to come back, the end that game is lost. It's just another stinger. And when it's all said and done, I think we probably, like, I'm sure Toronto has a much better record, but I don't feel like they're with, like you said, Stolarz in net. What is he? I know.
He has played very well for them. I know Sam and Joe made a point of telling
Oh my God.
many times in that game. He has played well for them. But this is, he's played for like 8 teams. He's been a backup everywhere he's gone. I mean, he was with the Flyers for the Flyers. Really? The Flyers? I mean,
he's never been like a legit number one.
Everywhere.
Like, wow. You got Stolarz? He's from Jackson, New Jersey. Home of Michael Halleck.
Yes. And, Toronto, another good team, first place team right now in the Atlantic. They've moved ahead of Florida by percentage points. But, that was a game. The Rangers were in that game. I don't buy that they can't play with the good teams. I just think they're just inconsistent, and these losses. Again, when you get to the end of this season, however it ends, and wherever their positioning is, whether it's the bottom wild card, the top wild card, or if the Devils continue to fall apart, who knows? Third place is not out of the realm. But when you look at where their positioning is at the end of the season, when this season inevitably ends badly, and most of them do, you're going to put a circle around a couple of games. And that Buffalo game is going to be one of them. The Pittsburgh game is going to be one of them. Just games that they just didn't compete. And that's going to be that's going to be what sinks them in the end, I think. They're just inconsistent. Let's see how I'm anxious to see how they come out and play against Washington tomorrow. Washington has been, I think they had lost a couple of games in a row before getting an overtime win last night against Ottawa.
Ottawa.
I have to say. So, they're not playing their best hockey right now. And like Roger Nielsen said, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. So, you're going to need another big performance tomorrow night from Igor, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I really feel like he has to be the difference maker now. This last quarter of games we're coming down. I think he really has to. I mean, he's getting paid like Henrik Lundqvist. He's got to play where he is the show the entire way. I mean, because it's again the Keandre Miller playing well. I don't know how long that's going to last. He's got a lot. He's got like 2 seasons worth of great play to make up for this season and maybe half of last season. So he's got a lot before he's in redemption mode as far as
right.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm conflicted. I look at the standings and I say, how bad are these teams? I've been writing them off, the Rangers, for the last month. I said they're cooked, they're done, forget about them.
Right.
Now, the newest Ranger played last night. I don't want to say his name wrong because it could be offensive to ladies. Was it Pusanainen or something? Puss in Boots?
Could be offensive to ladies.
I don't want to be saying that word. What's his name?
You so
bad.
Juuso Parssinen.
Okay, Parson. I thought it was like Pusanainen.
No.
Parssinen, is that how we say it?
I believe it's Parssinen, yes.
We have an Uho and an Uso.
Yes.
Weren't they Saddam Hussein's sons? Uso and Uho.
More fins. More fins. The Rangers win with fins.
No. I don't get it. Uho, that's Saddam Hussein's sons there. Uso and Uho.
Right.
Yeah. Something like that. What did you have any takeaways? Did the Underground have any takeaways from him?
Well, I mean, Parsons' first game, which was the Nashville game, he led the team in hits.
Oh,
6 hits. I don't. The Rangers seem a lot more excited about this guy than I am. I mean, he's a 6th or 7th round pick, and at 24, we're always young. Oh, Joe.
We developed those young guys,
right? We'll see.
All right. Okay. Well, we haven't really talked about it. Let's talk about the trade.
Let's talk about the
people
trade.
Hollered. People were screaming at Jim, "Do a special show! Do a special show!" Well, sometimes we have personal lives. We can't do a special show. Well, I love you guys, and I can't wait to talk Ranger hockey with you guys, but we couldn't do one on the fly. So we're going to do it now. No big whoop.
No big whoop.
Talk about yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Ryan Lindgren and Jimmy Visa go to Colorado.
Right.
For Uho.
Juuso Parssinen.
All right. You go first on this trade?
Well, I'll tell you, we all thought, we all suspected Ryan Lindgren wouldn't finish the season with the Rangers. He was going to be a free agent. It didn't look like he had a future here. I think we have all seen the physicality of his game take its toll. Quite frankly, moving him to Colorado and not only getting 2 players in return, but 2 draft picks in return, I'm okay with it. And the Rangers were able to retain salary on the deal, which you have, if I understand the rule correctly, you can do that 3 times. So the Rangers can do that 2 more times if they want to be somebody's banker coming up on the trade deadline, because that enables you to get a better pick. So the Rangers retain 50% of Ryan Lindgren's salary, and that gets them a second-round pick. And it will be the higher of 2 picks. I think one is Colorado's pick and one is the Hurricanes pick that used to belong to the Rangers.
Yeah,
I forget.
I got lost there.
I forget the specifics of it, but they will get the higher second round pick that is available to them, and they get a 4th round pick. And they get Calvin DeHaan, who's a former 1st round pick. He's an older guy, but he's 33.
He's steady. He's a defensive defenseman.
Serviceable. Maybe
Without
the perfect guy at the perfect time when you've got to play Zach Jones. Calvin DeHaan gives you a veteran 3rd pairing defenseman to play with Zach Jones. I think DeHaan's, he's been fine back there. I think Zach Jones, he enables Zach Jones to do what Zach Jones does best, which is just freewheeling with the puck. Boy, can he skate. I hate to sound like Joe Micheletti, but boy, can he skate. He can really skate, Sam.
Well, he can. There's no doubt about it.
And Costa said last night, and I'll repeat this and give him full marks. He made a great point last night in our post-game recap. Zach Jones was a guy who bitched to the media about his playing time and how he didn't like it and he wanted to play more. And then when he got his chance, he's showing up. So you got to give him credit for that too, and give Costa credit for the comment.
Yes, Costa also a good compliment about Parsnips, the bar that's near my house. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I want to, I think Drury's ultimately responsible for. Ultimately, the players are responsible for what happened this season, but he gets a guy like Calvin DeHaan, who is like Lindgren, except he doesn't have any grit. He's a defensive defenseman. He's been that way his whole career. Like these little like afterthoughts that we think initially turn out to be a little bit of something. So maybe they're not good at developing their players, the Rangers, but they're good at analyzing other teams' players. I don't know. And I don't know how, what's this guy's name again? Parsonen? Yeah, the Alan Parsonen Project.
The Alan Parsons Project.
Like I said, he is, he's hitting, he's doing some stuff. Now, what about, like, I saw in the Ranger ether, there was this whole thing. Oh my God, we got nothing for Ryan Lindgren. There was some of that. Is it the pedestrian Ranger fan who thinks he's like, the second coming of Dave Manson or, Scott Stevens? Because to me, this is a guy who's going to be departing. Probably won't even stay with Colorado. He's a UFA at the end of the season.
Right. And look, we all know that fans have a tendency to overvalue what's yours. I think if you take a 40,000-foot view of this trade to get a 2nd round pick and a 4th round pick and 2 players for a guy who I think we could all agree is in decline, who has had a rough season, and get 2 players for him with Jimmy Vesey, who I think we all liked, but he had ceased to be of use.
Yeah, he outlived his usefulness. And we got him for nothing.
Right.
We got him on a tryout.
I think the return was good. I'm pretty happy with it. They've got to restock draft picks. I think I read, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong. They don't, until they made this trade, they didn't have a second round draft pick for the next 3-4 years, something like that. They've traded away a lot of draft capital to make these couple of runs that they've made the last few years. So, to stockpile some of those draft picks, I would expect, if Riley Smith gets traded, he is, being sat for roster management, which essentially means we don't want you anymore. We're going to trade you. I would just expect.
Who saw that coming?
Right. I would just expect, another draft pick or two. There's a lot of speculation about Chris Kreider. Rob Scotty made a great point before you got here in the chat room, Eddie. Is Chris Kreider really day-to-day, or is he being sat for roster management?
I think he's a little banged up. I think he's got a back. He's got that back. I
had a hunch they'd get him with that bad fucking back.
He's got that back, and I don't know. Also in the chat room before the show, what could you get for Chris Kreider? You think somebody would overpay for him if he is on roster management?
Well, now if I also understand correctly, Chris Kreider has a 15-team no move clause. So there's only certain places he could go. Obviously, everybody's first destination in mind for him is Boston. That's where he's from.
Also, I heard Florida. The Matthew Tkachuk just went down for them.
Is hurt. That
he would certainly go to Florida or Boston.
There you go, Costa. Well, who wouldn't go to Florida? Who wouldn't want to go there? Where would you go down there? No income tax. They're winning.
Right.
They're built to win for the next couple of years. Who wouldn't want to go down there?
I'd hate to see it, though, but, we got to move on.
Well,
he's part of this core. I love the guys.
No longer about this year. It's now up to the front office to put this team in the best possible position to contend beyond this year. They're more than likely not contenders this year. More than likely. We don't think so, unless something drastically changes.
Yeah.
So you've got to put yourself in the best position to win next year and the year after. Artemi Panarin, the light at the end of the tunnel on that contract is coming. Mika Zibanejad, what's his future? We'll see over this. Those are summer questions, but so if Kreider could pass a physical,
come on, look at that man. Look at that beefcake.
You got to at least see what his. I guess you got to at least see what his value is, because there's limited guys on this team that can be moved with any value. Trocheck can't be moved. Panarin can't be moved. Zibanejad can't be moved. Shesterkin can't be moved. He's not going anywhere anyway. So what does that leave you of value? You've got Riley Smith, Chris Kreider, Keandre Miller. Those are your three guys, and Alexei Lafreniere, who I'm running thin on.
He does not look inspired. He looks like a beaten horse. He just is not. I don't know. He had that vim and vigor last year. I don't see it in him. His body language is in the
could you imagine if the Rangers trade Chris Kreider before Friday, and then we got to see Patty Duke on Saturday?
Oh no! Should be wearing all black.
It should be
all black and a black veil. Yeah,
we'll have a veil. Should be sitting Shiva. We'll have to cover up the mirrors at McHale's.
I was going to say, I know that Kreider
pour one out to the lost.
Yeah. I know Chris Kreider would pass Patty Duke's physical. Well, that's one thing. I think a team will come because they're going to want somebody who can juice them on a power play. He's a good penalty killer. Sure, his assists suck. His assists have never been good.
Right.
He's a goal scorer. He's like, that's what he does.
But
I agree, Ricky. He has checked out Lafreniere.
Chris Kreider, you talk about a great special teams guy, And those guys make a difference in the playoffs. You know, guys that can kill penalties, guys that can score power play goals. So you got to at least find out what his value is. What is his market? You know, I know. I think. What's up, Avery? Avery,
Hello,
watching
Avery.
us on TikTok.
Nice. All about that TikTok stuff.
I noticed that we're getting a lot of views on TikTok, but people aren't staying very long. But I understand that TikTok is 20 seconds and
Like a nanosecond, you're gone. Bam, bam, bam.
Right. But it's okay. You know, it's just more exposure, which is all, you know. All
Avery will be at the viewing party with her friend. What's her name?
That's Tanner was coming with her friend Annabelle.
Oh,
Avery
Avery
will be there with her boyfriend Johnny.
Yeah.
Megan will be there with her boyfriend Dwayne, who is he's getting thrown right into the fire this weekend. They're coming to visit. We have to rent a car. That's how many people we're bringing to the viewing.
Now, this new boyfriend, does he have any allegiances with the hockey?
He doesn't know much about hockey. Admitting.
All right, then we can influence him.
So this is going to be right. This is going to be all new to him. You know, he's already been told. You know, he will be in a jersey, and he's an amateur magician. So he's going to be doing
Wait a minute.
He's going to be he's going to make Eddie levitate when the Rangers score.
I might want to make some of these people disappear. Why
we're going to see if we can get him to make Alexei Lafreniere reappear.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be. I'm gonna have him going around. I'm gonna have him entertain a little bit, do some tricks, do some card tricks, some sleight of hand. He's very nice. I've spoken to him on the phone a couple of times. He seems like a very nice guy. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Okay, cool.
So it's gonna be fun, and we'll talk about the viewing party in a couple of minutes. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Yes, and like Avery said, Johnny, her boyfriend, was not a hockey fan until he started coming to viewing parties, and now he's into it. Well, don't tell me what we don't need at viewing. You know, we don't need at viewing parties. We don't need you at viewing parties. Get your ass out of Canada and show up at one, and then you can decide what we do and don't do at viewing parties. We don't need magicians. I wish we had a magician make you disappear. Get out of here.
And your whole damn country.
I'm
only kidding. I love Canada.
Get out of here, stupid country. Pat McAfee said it was a stupid country. He had to apologize.
Oh, really?
People got all over him. Yeah, he said it's a stupid country. And Keith Olbermann gets on Twitter and says, "Oh, he should be fired for saying that."
He's a lunatic too. They're both lunatics. Okay, so I think that was a decent trade. We knew Lindgren was going to be a Ranger at the end of the year, and they got a decent return. Now I think it's Parsonen. This is the third team he's been on this year. Is that what I heard? Again, I'm not all caught up on him. Can you refresh me on what is this Parsonen all about? He's 23, 24.
24 years old. 7th round draft pick of the Nashville Predators in 2019. This is his third team this season. Started the season with Nashville, was traded to Colorado, and then included in the Lindgren deal. He's been traded twice in 3 months.
Okay, what's his position? What kind of stats does he put up in the NHL?
He's a center, and not much in the way of stats.
Okay.
He has been around 50% on faceoffs. Does average a couple of hits a game. Just look at it. I'm just looking over his stats. This is, there's not another guy that, never heard of until a couple. I don't spend a lot of time watching Nashville Predator hockey or paying attention to their draft picks.
Right.
So,
okay. I just wanted to be caught up. I need to be filled in once in a while. I'm not. I've never pretended to be the all-knowing, all-seeing Swami of. Although I have played the role. Let's face it. We have the music. I probably have the Swami hat somewhere. but I'm not going to do that now. But
So he just turned 24. He's from Hämeenlinna, Finland.
well, you know how I feel about Finns. You
And
said
his
it
father,
earlier.
his father played briefly in the NHL. His father was Timo Parssinen.
Wow.
Played for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim when they were the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Okay. So I think that was a good trade for the Rangers. Definitely. I mean, and it looks like they're giving every guy that they acquire a shot. I guess they've got nothing to lose. What's your opinion of Brett Berard? Brett, I had it right the first time.
Right.
Brett Berard. What's your take on him? What's the crowd's take on him?
The thing I like about Brett Berard is that he plays above his size. He's not intimidated by anybody. I mean, he's 5'9", and he's challenged guys that were much, much bigger than him. And he brings the speed that they sorely lack. The Rangers are not a fast team, but he does bring that speed. I liked him he played a little bit he was on the fourth line last night with Rempe and Carrick.
Sorry. Not lifting my head. People want to know what SOD stood for. So I guess I could do this. The Stormtroopers of Death.
Matt Morello thought it was System of a Down,
which I do enjoy as well. I enjoy both those bands. People say he's visible. That's good. Rock says he likes that he shoots the puck. I like that too. That's a good thing.
Yeah, so far the thing I like most about his speed. The Rangers are not a fast-moving team, so he brings that speed. And like I said, he played well on the fourth line last night with Carrick and Rempe.
Mikko Linoleum. What is he? You had to go back to 1982 in order to get where we had Esatikin, and he was probably the greatest finish. Or Reijo, Ruotsalainen. You bring up Rempe, Ricky Pickle. I don't know if he's getting suspended, but I'm going to tell you something. Can he just stop fighting?
No hearing for there was
no hearing.
There was no hearing for that.
I do want to say, can he just stop fighting? Because
what was he supposed to? But what was he supposed to do? I mean, he was challenged. I mean, the guy got right in his face, started throwing punches.
Yeah, but then he loses every fight. He's getting
I didn't think he lost that
out
fight.
there.
I didn't think he lost that.
He was all bloody against England.
So was the other guy. The other guy was bloody too. They were both bloody.
He took like 16 punches. He only gave like 3. I'm sorry, man. This guy can't fight.
Yari Curry was a bust as a Ranger.
He was only with us for a couple of years. Then he went to Los Angeles for $100 more.
Anyway,
I hated Yari Curry, as you can tell. As a Ranger, as a hockey player, but he really did benefit playing with Gretzky and all those guys.
Yari Curry, 14 games, 1 goal as a New York Ranger.
I mean, I know you're very sensitive about any criticism against Matt Rempe. I mean, because you're on a friendly basis with it. But to me, it's like this guy is 6'8", and he loses to these guys that, and I know they have an advantage because everyone is smaller than him. He's not going to face somebody his own size. But he can't be getting lit up like that. It's a boon for the other team when he fights and loses. If he fights and wins and destroys the guy, then it's a total boon for us.
But he hasn't fought that much this season either.
No, he hasn't. You're right.
Last year there was kind of a I gotta challenge.
Everybody's got to prove. Everybody's a tough guy. Yeah.
I don't remember before the fight he had the other night. I don't remember the last fight he had. I thought he was fine the other night. I think his game has improved.
Yes.
I think the coaching staff is getting more comfortable with him. He's getting more quality ice time. He's seeing the ice more in the third period in close games. He's been up around 10, 11 minutes most games the last few weeks. I think he's getting better. And if he becomes a serviceable fourth line guy, I'm fine.
I like him. I think he does. He keeps it simple. He knows his role. Every shift, he's noticeable in a good way. And, I think he's been that fourth line has.
But he had that 2-on-none last night with Carrick.
Yeah. How many fourth lines get 2-on-nothings? I mean, they're doing something right there. I just can't see him getting demolished every time he fights. I know you think it was even, but you're right. The other guy started. The other guy challenged. Was he going to back down?
Right.
Turtle.
Right. You don't want that reputation either.
Right. So, but but he for the most part, and it annoys me that these two chuckleheads that do the show, that not our show, but do the Madison Square Garden broadcast. Now, was last night's broadcast available with the Islanders announcers as well?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I would have loved to hear Butch Goring. He is such a fucking homie. He must have been friggin'. He probably threw himself from the rafters. Up the Chase Bridge. Yeah. He is such a homer, calling everybody by their first names. And they're going to gut that team. They're going to gut it so bad. I can't wait. They're going to say bye-bye to Noah Dobson. Oh, Joe, Noah's back. He adds a dimension.
What a difference maker he was last night.
Yeah. Kyle Palmolive there, this guy Palmieri, he's been around for years. I don't know how this guy actually gets 20+ goals. Brock Nelson, who looks like a character from the cast of Mad Men, with his square jaw and his guinea charm. Sorry. Do a little
He's there. He's going to be their hot ticket item at the deadline.
Yeah, he's up there. And once they gut that fish, forget about it. The fish sticks will have no fish left in them. They'll just be sticks.
It's a shame.
Hey, you're right. Timothy O'Hare. That team is a bore. Oh, my God.
How about the 2 games against the Rangers? Last week, Waugh pulls the goalie with 8 minutes to go. Last night, 7.5 minutes to go. He pulls the goalie. It's crazy.
And my friend John Hill he baits me with this. He goes, that's what they should always do that. He's got balls. He's got balls. He's a terror. I mean, listen, he doesn't have much to work with there. Let's just face it. Lou Lamoriello has driven that team into the ground. If anybody should be fired, I guess he's the president too, whatever. They made him everything. Grand Poobah,
Grand Poobah, the Grand High Exalted Mr.
He's running that fucking with his signing these old guys. Their draft picks are bust after bust after bust. I mean, this is worse than at least the Rangers draft picks become like serviceable to mediocre. Their picks, that is Siplikov. I was hearing all this thing before this. Oh, Sippy. He was a healthy scratch the last couple nights. I don't know if he played last night. Did he play? Siplikov? Sippy Cup?
I don't recall.
That Wallstrom guy. Oh, he got offensive. He stinks.
Oh, how could the Rangers not? How could they pass on Wallstrom? Oh, he's going to be great. Look at the Islanders. He's got 3 goals.
Yeah.
Not
just
even
because he has a Swedish name doesn't mean he's good.
Not even with the Islanders anymore.
I know. He got cast off. They're a bunch of they stink. They're still hanging on to those same fucking veterans that are horrible. Oh, Matt Martin, Casey Cizikas, I don't know. All those guys are done. So done. Listen, the Rangers are no fucking, big shakers and movers right now. Train wreck. That's the New York Islanders coming to see you. He played last night? Okay. I want a Sippy Cup played last night. And Sorokin, I thought he was supposed to be his greatest Shesterkin. It was 1A and 1B at one point. Remember we talked to that chick from Russia? What was her name? The goaltending broad?
Jillian.
Yeah, she was a
Jillian.
nice young lady.
I can't think of her last name now.
What does anybody remember her name? Anyway, she was she's a Sorokin stinks. I know he got a goal the other night because he was credited with a goal. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just it's terrible. He's been bad against the Rangers. Bad against the Rangers. Sorokin. The goaltending broad. I don't know. I forgot a name. Listen, I'm saying broad. I'm saying all the old things. This is the way I am. I'm 60. All right? I'm just letting it fly now. So if you get offended by me saying broad or some dumbass or whatever I call a guy, dope usually, I'm not for you. Kemera. That's her name, Mike? What's her name? Whatever. Just tell me, the great, yeah, exactly. The great, what's the guy? The great Russian goalie there, Tretiak. Oh, he's in charge of the goaltending. He's got all these great goaltenders. And they're having some good Russian goaltenders, let's face it. But Sorokin is not one of them. No, that's especially against the Rangers. I mean, one thing the Islander fan lives for. The delusional, the disgusting, the vermin Islander fan knows they have no chance of ever reaching the Stanley Cup again. They have not been in the Stanley Cup since what, 83, 84?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am 60 years old, folks. That was before I was 20. They haven't. That's 40 plus years of loserdom.
In high school.
Loserdom.
By the way, since you mentioned Tretiak, I forgot to mention this last week on the show. If you haven't seen it, since we just passed the Miracle on Ice anniversary, ESPN has a 30 for 30. It's called Of Miracles and Men, and it's about the 1980 Olympics from the Soviet view. It's really interesting.
Oh, okay.
Really, really interesting. They interview all the guys from that team. And oh shit, now I can't. His name escapes me. Played for the Devils from that team. Kasatonov. Was it Kasatonov? Played for the Devils.
Yeah, I always get it mixed up with the guy who died.
Yeah. Well, that was Konstantinov, but then it was also Slava Fetisov. I think it was Kasatonov. He's like a big part of that documentary, but it's really good. They interviewed Tretiak. They interviewed a bunch of Mishkinov.
Oh, he was the backup goalie, or was the goalie, right?
No, Mishkin, I think, was the backup goalie. They interview him too. Mishkinov was the captain. I can't remember all their names now, but it's really good from the Russian point of view. Just how, and
I want to laugh because I just got a friend request on Facebook, and I thought it was the Russian broad. No, I thought it was the Russian broad.
Oh, okay.
So she got two pictures on. First, obviously, this is some fake account. She's got the full fucking the collagen in the lips and the whole fake fucking blonde shit. And she's like in some kind of like pose where it's like, oh, this is supposed to entice me. And then there's only two pictures. It's that picture and a picture of Joe Biden smiling. What the fuck? I literally, you couldn't send me a worse troll.
Right.
All right. Now back to business. Boris Mikhailov.
But yeah, the 30 for 30 is really good. If you
now this 30 for 30, can I catch it on the ESPN Plus thing, or
yes.
I have to? Okay.
That's right. That's how I watched it.
And they're all like archived there and stuff.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. I got to catch up on those 30 for 30s.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Really good one. Like I said, they interviewed Tretiak. They talk about pulling him after the I guess it was the second period. How stunned they all were, but nobody argued with Tikhonov. He was
he was like the freaking
he was a dictator.
KGB agent.
Right, he was. He was a former KGB agent.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to mess around with that guy.
Ricky, I watched it on the ESPN app. The 30 for 30s are on there. I'm not sure if you have to have an ESPN Plus subscription to access the 30 for 30 archive, but I do. So that's where I watched it. I just don't know if you need the subscription to see the documentary. It's really, really good. It's at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Really, very good. A lot of subtitles because a lot of these guys don't speak English, but it was still very good.
Yeah.
And they're still, I mean, this documentary was probably made about 10 years ago, and they're still not over it. Some of these guys.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Still not over it. And you know what else that I never knew? They showed footage of the game before the Olympics.
At the Garden?
At the Garden.
When
Jim Gordon and Bill Chadwick on the call for the game.
I have that game somewhere.
Oh, do you? They played footage of it, and it's
fucking got killed. USA got killed.
Yeah, 10-3, I think it was.
And again, the memory. I'm older. I'm an elder. By the way, if you guys have give me any guff, I now claim elder abuse on everything now. But then I tried to claim it, and some people were like, "Yeah, that's for 70-year-olds, not for 60-year-olds." I'm going to say now. Listen, I might be crazy and may not remember this correctly, and I'm sure Jim will probably confirm or deny this somewhere down the line. Maybe not tonight's show. That game between USA and Russia was a free event at Madison Square Garden. It was a day game. I don't know why I think that, because the Rangers against anybody, you would think they're going to charge. But this was way back when, before Dolan Vision took control there. So this is like, William Jennings time. William Jennings Bryant time. So, wait. Diane was at that game. It was on your birthday. Wow. Do you remember being a free event? December 27th, 1979. 2 days after Christmas. Wow. That's amazing. That's... I remember it was an afternoon game, correct? Diane, I'm
Sunday afternoon, I think.
Wow. I was so psyched for that game. And they got blown out. And I think Espo scored like the first goal in that game. The Rangers had the lead like early, and I was like, yeah, the Rangers are better than Russia. And then it was quickly disappointed. Wow.
Well, I'm talking about the USA Russia exhibition before the Olympics, not the Rangers playing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
okay.
USA. No, I'm getting them confused, conflated.
I'm trying to find some information on it.
Yeah, that USA Russia game I think was a free event. Because the Rangers also, I think, in the Summit Series, or not, was it the Summit Series? One of those things they played them. They played all the, even when the Flyers ran them out, the Russians left the building. They left the game during that. Yeah. That wasn't the Summit Series. That was called something else. Then there was the Challenge Cup. You remember that?
Yep, I do. I found an article about that exhibition game, but I'm trying to.
You'll excuse me for a second. I have to use the little boys' room.
11,000 people in the Garden in that game.
And Diane Eck was one of them.
Doesn't say. I'm looking at the article from the Daily News, the reprint, and it doesn't say if it was a free game. it just says that there were 11,000 people at the Garden. And like I said, it was Bill Chadwick and Jim Gordon. Yeah, that was probably Sonny Werblin's. Oh, it wasn't it was a night game? Okay. Yeah, Sonny Werblin was running the Garden in those days. He was the one that brought back the Rangers diagonal jerseys, and I think he was also behind the Ulf Nielsen and Anders Hedberg signings, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was because I seem to remember a picture in the yearbook or the programs at the time with Werblin at center ice with Nielsen and Hedberg in the old the 70s jerseys, whatever you want to call the pajama jerseys with the crest on the front. Kind of look like this, actually. But yeah, that was Sonny Werblin. So anyway, if you get a chance, watch that documentary. And there's clips in there from that exhibition game that they played before the Olympics when the Russians blew out the U.S. and it was 4-0 like very early in that game, and they wound up winning 10-3, and the USA team wasn't very good, and that was a big part of the documentary. Like the Russians couldn't understand how the USA could look like such a different team in just 9 days later when they or whatever it was in the Olympics. So yes, and Sonny Werblin was behind the Fred Shiro hire. And thank you, Tim.
I did conflate those two. I have the Ranger Russia game on. I do not have the USA Russia game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Saturday real quick while we've got a captive audience here. Saturday,
I don't know how I feel. I mean, I'm excited, but the Jimmy Vesey jersey autographed. I mean, is it still desirable, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. We got a lot of jersey collectors out there. Plus, it's autographed. I think it's still a commodity. It's still something somebody's going to want. We've also got the Matt Rempe jersey to give away. We've got the neon sign to give away. We've got another giveaway that I haven't even told you guys about that's sitting upstairs here at my house that's really nice. Now, I do have to tell you, there is a one-of-a-kind item that we are raffling off on Saturday, but we are going to have to ship to you. I was notified yesterday that shipping is delayed on it. I will show you what it is on Saturday. I'm telling it's an awesome item. I don't want to give it away yet, and we'll raffle it off, and then I'm just going to have to ship it to you. It is now due in the end of March.
I was hopefully going to I didn't want to give that. Well, I guess I can give that away. Me and Jim are also going to receive this one-of-a-kind item, but it's on back order. It's something beyond our control.
Right.
So, but I think it's awesome. Jim thinks it's awesome. So whoever wins it, especially if you get to see what it's going to look like, you're
right. It's going to be a pretty cool thing. And we are actually the company that is behind this, that is doing this for us. It may turn into like a mini sponsor show. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how it all works out. But maybe a little agreement with this particular company. So we'll see what's going on. But anyway,
look for the Pornhub icon. I'm only kidding. That will be coming.
Yes.
Sorry.
So looking forward to seeing you guys Saturday. I think we're going to have a big crowd. Just my contingent alone is a big crowd. So
yeah. You packing up the Brady Bunch station wagon?
Yeah. And we'll have the flags there. We'll have the BSU flag. We're going to bring the Rempe flag so we can take pictures if anybody wants to take pictures with it. And we'll do a big BSU picture. We've got so much stuff to raffle off. McHale's is trying to maybe even come up with some swag for us like they have before.
Drink
specials. There's going to be food specials. I don't know. And
I wanted to, can I interrupt you for a second?
You can indeed.
Okay. Didn't you show me a picture? McHale's went to a game and they represented the party and us and everything?
I'm going to pull that up right now. I just got to find it. Hang on. Oh, let me see here. Where is that picture? Just give me 1 second. Here it is. Okay. So the McHale's, some of the employees the other night they were at the game.
Toronto?
No, I think it was the game against Nashville.
Oh, okay.
and they made shirts for the game. And on the shirts is our viewing party graphic. So McHale's is walking around Madison Square Garden advertising for BSU. Let me look at this shirt. I want one of these shirts. How do I get one of these shirts?
Yes. He should have had some to raffle off. Maybe they got some extras.
I mean, look at this. There's our graphic right there.
Wow.
And
See,
they-
these
they- they're
people are
walking
all in.
They love us. They absolutely love us. So they're walking
Yes.
around advertising our show, our viewing party. They absolutely love us. They can't wait to host us.
Nick the
Nick the
Cristo.
Black-Hearted Crow is here. Nick informed me that he will be unable to attend.
I
the
know.
viewing
He
party.
messaged me too. Hey, listen, I know you got other things to do. We love you. We will always embrace you. You were a diehard Ranger fan. He always comes with pins and magnets, and he always gives me some kind of gift. Weed's the least of the things he comes with. He's got drugs on him that are not even, they're not in any any psychiatrist. Well, Dr. B doesn't even know about some of these medications. But anyway, I digress.
Even Christopher Moltisanti doesn't know about these drugs.
Yeah. But he is a top-notch Ranger fan, and we're going to miss him, but we know. 50 people minimum, Gus is calling. I think he's right. Oh,
I think he's right, too.
Eric Lindros. I was talking to somebody about him the other night and how he is he's not a no-show. He's got other things to do, Gus. My allergies.
Partying with Don Murdoch. Jim, that Don Murdoch, a first-class snowblower, Jim.
Danny Don Murdoch. He straightened his life out. He's got a hockey camp up in the Albertas, I think. Saskatchewan, actually.
Something like that, yeah.
Anybody know how Barry Beck's doing? He was like on hospice.
He's not
He's
good.
back in the hospital?
Yeah, he had a lot of fluid in his lungs, very sick. He's in poor health.
Dire straits?
Yeah, I don't know if he's I don't know how dire. But
Barry, listen, I don't want to kick you when you're down, but why the fuck move to Hong Kong? You don't know what kind of hooky-faluki kind of medical treatment you're getting over there. They could be trying that acupuncture, that jiu-jitsu, whatever they do. I don't know. You should have stood in Canada. You got free health care up there.
Right.
All right, you got some Canadian kook wearing a toque operating on you, but I'm sure it's better than Hong Kong Fooey over there.
Dr. Cutsy.
Dr. Cutsy comes in, cuts you wide open. And I don't know why. And, I will say this. I feel like the New York Rangers never gave Barry his just due. Because at one point, he was one of the most beloved Rangers that ever suited up. And there wasn't a guy or a girl, really. Well, he had a lot of female friends he's posted. You could see he's always got some. All right, he had made some questionable photo. Anyway, I wish him happy and health and get better, Barry, because you were beloved for a lot of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get out of Hong Kong. That's all I can say.
Get well soon and come on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
We've only asked him like a dozen times.
I know. He went on, hey, dude, What's His Face and What's His Face still have their show?
What's his face and what's his face?
Kotze and the other guy there. What was it? Paulie
D show?
Yeah, is that still a show?
I had a bookmark.
Ricky was never a Beck fan? Like, how could you not be? Yeah, Pat Flatley. Then we acquired him. The guy who ended his career, we acquire. He did it, but we used to call that a bi-level. The mullet. That thing, we used to call it a bi-level. That was kind of cool for like a week.
The Instigators, 10 subscribers. This channel does not have any content.
What? What?
I don't know if
it never had content when it was on.
I don't know. There was another page. This is the Instigators hockey page, page.
Let me check.
But
Let me
thought
check
I
the
had
YouTube.
it bookmarked.
Somebody investigate. I need to know. the fumigators, if they're still around, because they stunk the place up. I like Ron Greshner too.
Former guest of the show.
Former guest of the show. I liked him before I knew him. Before he sent his goons to attack me. I don't know, Matt Morello. Do some investigative reporting. Find out what happened to Paulie D and Kotze. Hey there, big boy. If he doesn't get 15... I know half the audience doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about.
I know.
Kotze, I guess he's going to probably have an embolism when Ovechkin passes Gretzky.
Oh, I found it. I'm all over it here.
Okay.
The last show was 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so they're on a once a month basis?
They were on 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago.
Oh,
it looks like they're doing about once a month, maybe twice a month. Last show had 13 views.
Wow. Well, that's more than I expected. Probably like half of our people checking in to see if they could get any clips.
A little taste.
Yeah,
they send it up, and they've carried through.
I love it.
Somebody.
Kotze's moving.
He's always in the constant state. I think that's his comic books in the back. He's got a shoe rack back there or something. I don't know what's going on.
Kotze's house. It looks like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're putting the Ark away.
I don't know. He's probably doing it from his.
Remind me again. What's the Rangers' record with Rempe in the lineup?
That's great.
They finally figured out how to use the video, and I don't know.
Bless you.
My allergies. See, I'm talking about Paulie D. He's getting me back. Yeah, as Patty Duke said that, she summed it up that well. Oy vey.
We have top men looking into it.
So we have the most
men. Then they wheel it's like Kotze's house looks like.
I think it's a big improvement. At one point, it was so dark in there, and
somewhere in the background there's a box with the Ark in it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yes.
Well, I'm glad they're still around and doing well.
Well, you know, it's good to check in once in a while, so they're doing okay. Kotze brings in a lot of those viewers.
Yeah.
He had Blaine Stoughton on that show one time. Wow. All right. We digress. So we broke down the trade. I think it's a win. I'm going to ask the crowd that's assembled here. Who's gone? Do you think the Rangers should try to trade? Now, I think trading, like being buyers, is out the window. Right? We could throw that out.
Yeah, they're tweakers.
They're tweakers.
They're tweakers.
Like Don Murdoch was.
Right.
So we know that I guess the Rangers are. You think they're going to trade Keandre Miller now that they're, because they like this guy. This guy shouldn't have been in the lineup months ago. They've kind of waited it out, and I don't know. I can't see him going at the deadline. I certainly could see Riley Smith. Like you said, he's already been benched, roster management, whatever the fuck they're calling it. Who could be traded? Like you said, Kreider. They've been winning without Kreider. I don't, if he's gone, he's gone. I mean, I'm going to miss the guy. He's been a great Ranger, but that core is cooked. I don't think he can move Zibanejad. Who else are you going to move? Just our draft picks. That's it. I think.
I just posted a Twitter poll. Will Chris Kreider be a Ranger post deadline? Yes or no? Simple.
Okay, we'll see what they. Can we get the answers in here from Mar Throng?
See what the Twitterati says.
No, the Twitter douchebags. Fucking can't stand that medium. Not that I'm even on it. People send me
live on it right now. There's 44 people watching us on X.
I love X.
Right, it's fantastic.
Man, I can't stop fucking snotting it up. I got some on my shirt, I think. No, that wasn't snot. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
I don't think Quick's going anywhere.
I love Jonathan Quick. Let's give him a standing O, man. This guy, you know, when he was an LA King, I gave him a lot of grief. I did. Is this fucking snot on me or what? You know, you got to get that clip, me saying that. Is this snot on me or what? Oh, wait, we got a link. Diane Eck has done her job. She's got a link to the game versus the Russian Red Army team. Red Army. Nice. Well, if you can post it or send it to Jim via his Hotmail account, whatever you need to do.
Send us my Earthlink.
But Jonathan Quick, Earthlink. What was that other browser?
That was Netscape Navigator?
Yeah, Netscape Navigator. I hated that fucking browser. Ricky's saying, hey, you don't trust Shesterkin? You'd rather have Quick? Wow, I'll tell you, Quick has come up big for the Rangers. I gave him a lot of grief. I thought he was kind of overrated, but this guy's a pro. He's a gamer, man. Oh, yes. Paul Scooby Gaduzzi, I think his name is on Instagram. Why anybody would be friends with that guy on any platform? Nut scrape. That's like 22 years too late, that joke. I wish I would have called it then. Nut scrape.
We've got 8 precincts reporting right now. The vote is 87% yes, 12% no.
Oh, wow. What do we
Jonathan Quick is 9-9 lifetime against the Washington Capitals, in case you're wondering.
Oh, Joe.
With a .901 save percentage and a .278 goals against.
What's Shesky?
I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to go to the stats desk.
With
Igor is 8-5 lifetime against the Washington Capitals with a .916 save percentage and a .270 goals against.
You were going to the Bob page?
Yes. Some no votes are coming in. We're finding no votes in the middle of the night.
What do you guys say? Is Cride's
it's now 76% to 23%. Yes. Yes is still leading. But the no votes are coming in.
Okay. It's too early to call the race.
It's too early too close to call. Per Tom Brokaw.
Z-Man is going to the game against the Capitals tomorrow.
Oh, see, he's making a trip out of this. He's coming in, and then he'll be here for the viewing party.
He's the man. He's a dedicated Ranger fan.
He is.
All the way from Columbus, Ohio. They got Columbus fever over there. Z-Man, they got Columbus fever. You know, the Blue Jackets have been pleasantly surprised. The fans have been. No. Patty Duke with an emphatic no.
Now, is that a vote from the heart or a vote from the head?
Might be a vote from somewhere else.
Right, it could. From the Parsonen.
This broad's been talking about this guy as a beefcake for like 5 years.
That's a vote from the Parsonen.
I don't know what's going on over there. Not a lot of people chiming in here. Guess you don't care. All right, well, fuck you. We'll go back to the Twitterati. Come on, people. I need more engagement here. Before I die, I need more engagement. Feedback. I need feedback. All right. What's the poll at now?
75-25 in favor of yes.
Is it in favor, or it's basically saying will he?
Will Chris Kreider be a Ranger
Yeah.
after the deadline? 75% of the votes say yes. 25% of the votes say no.
Oh, good news from the Z-Man desk. The Colts are losing 4-1 to the Lightning right now.
Excellent.
Uh-oh.
Truer words have never been spoken, Cutter. You don't want my opinion. You got that right.
You really hit the nail. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better.
That's the truest thing you've ever said. We do not want your opinion.
J-Mail. What's J-Mail? Is J-Mail like J-Date? I almost said Jew-Date. I don't know what's wrong with me. No way, Ricky Pickle says. Cride's going to be a Ranger for life, I guess. He's a lifer. Okay. So we did that bit. What else we got, Robin? I think that's about it. I don't have anything else to talk about. I'm trying to think what chafed me. Did anything chafe me? No, I mean, you beat the Islanders twice in a row. Nashville are bad. Oh, they're bad. Oh, they're so bad.
Boy, you talk about a team that went out and spent and got nothing. Got zero returns.
Exactly.
I mean, they went out and got Stamkos. They went out with Brady Shea. Who else did they sign? Big money deal. I'm forgetting somebody. Somebody else they signed, right?
Yeah, something else I remember being really jealous of. Remember when Stamkos got signed? Everybody's like, how did the Rangers not get Stamkos? I don't know. You want Panarin gone? Don't you think the Rangers... I'm happy with Panarin. Yeah, you could trade him and get... I'd rather have him on my team. What are they going to get for him?
No move clause. He's not going anywhere.
That's true. But I'm just saying... I don't know, even if it wasn't. What do you get? You going to get draft picks? Why would you swap Panarin for... I mean, again, if Brady Tkachuk was involved in this deal, then I would trade anybody. Anybody. Well, it's just a pipe dream right now. CR's got a hanging Chad. I had one of those once. I remember that. I don't know if Panarin does nothing. He certainly disappears as the later in the rounds as you go because it tightens up. He's not that prolific of a scorer.
Marcia, so thank you. That was the other guy they signed. Oh, Gabrick couldn't wait to get out of New York. And
Torts hated him.
Come on, he couldn't
Torts
wait.
was running him into the ground. Didn't like it. No.
He would have waived his no move clause to go to the Swiss Elite League or the Swedish League.
Listen, there are plenty of players. He's just not a guy. He's not that top tier guy like Connor McDavid, or that could do well in the playoffs. And he just listen. The Rangers get to the conference finals every year before seemed like it was close to, or they managed with Artemi Panarin, and I think they don't get to the playoffs if Artemi Panarin, what do you get, 116 points, 106 points last year?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big with that soft stuff. I think if those guys could succeed if you have enough grit with your other players, and that's the problem with the New York Rangers. They don't have if they had JT Miller and Will Cooley's up the yin yang, and now you got some guys. And again, I don't want to go nutso, but
5-1 Tampa.
5-1. I don't know nutso, but Rempe and Carrick and Trocheck, those guys are a little bit hard to play against. Trocheck's a pain in the ass. Carrick is he's kind of a pain. And Rempe.
Here's big news too, Eddie. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, go ahead.
This just in. Red Wings down 2-0.
Oh!
To the Hurricanes in the second period.
Turn those frowns upside down. We're back in it, baby. You asked me at the beginning of the program, are we back? We're back. As of 8:25 tonight. I love Gabrick. Gabrick was a performer. What do you have, 40 goals twice or close to it? Playing with Eric Christensen and a bunch of other losers. Now, here's Eichel. Gus is bringing up Eichel. He wants to chafe me. Remember when Eichel was available? There wasn't a Ranger fan who would sign off on it because of his injury. Brian Attard?
He was heavily beating the drum for Eichel.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes.
Well, Brian Attard, you are correct, sir. Has he been reminding the Ranger faithful about that?
What do you think?
I guess
What do you think?
He's in full reminder mode.
Right.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds nuts sometimes. No, I'm only kidding, Brian. You're a good man, and you're dedicated to your website.
And we'll see you Saturday.
We'll see you Saturday, Brian. Oh, I'm going to have to apologize to Brian. The first thing I'm going to say, Jim was saying,
there's nothing wrong with what I said.
But what I said, even a blind squirrel finds nuts sometimes.
Oh,
that could be construed. If you weren't friends with me, that would be like,
That's just gentle ribbing that everybody.
Yeah, it's a good-natured rib.
Everyone in this family gets.
That's right, Matt Morello. 40 goals with Eric Christensen.
Yes, he did.
Came to play every night too.
We are now at 66.7% yes, 33% no. The no's are slowly creeping up.
Yeah. Adam Fox. I think his play has definitely come down, but again, Jay, we discussed this on the last time we were with you guys. These players that are saying, "Oh, we just can't wait to go up against Fox in the playoffs." Well, where are they? The Rangers go to the fucking conference finals every year. They're beating those teams, and I think Fox has something to do with it. I don't think he's been a superstar. He hasn't been Bobby Orr out there, or the great Doug Wilson, but he's a little bit. They're always on Fox about his size. I think he's listed at 6 foot, but there's like him and Zach Jones are exactly the same size. We get on Zach Jones for being small, but Fox and Jones really are basically the same. The stuff in the bout. Don't worry. I don't like when people beat the drum. This is nothing personal, Jay, but the Rangers are too soft. They're too soft to win. You gotta have. Now listen, JT Miller.
2 years ago in the playoffs, Adam Fox had 23 points in 20 games.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what he's there for. Now, JT Miller does play with an edge. I love his attitude. But you see what he brings to the Rangers? Just the mentality that I want. He shoots and asks questions later. That's the Rangers' most prolific problem forever. Not enough shooters, too many unselfish players. And that's why they don't score. That's why they don't draw penalties. They don't do anything. Well, now that I don't want to tell the Rangers are red hot. Let's face it, they've won 2 in a row.
4 of the last 5.
4 out of the last 5. I don't want to talk ill of this red hot Ranger team. There's definitely flawed. They're flawed. We've got to stop thinking about big picture. Rangers need this. Why are you going to trade Panarin when you're going to be most likely not make the playoffs or go out in the first round? There's just no sense, even if he would accept it. JT's the best. He's the best thing that happened to this team. And there were people who said, "Oh, they're getting retreads. They're going back to the past again." Well, this is a guy that has matured to a level. He's peaking right now. I mean, I know he had a really bad season with Vancouver, but he wanted out of there.
The goal was disallowed. It was 4-1 Tampa, and now it's 4-2 Tampa.
Uh-oh. As of 8:30, I'm not back. We're not back.
But Tampa's finishing up a power play, it looks like. Still 2-0 in
Detroit.
In Detroit, yes.
Yes, I agree with you, Jay. That the dumb power play, you got to be better 5-on-5. But again, that's big picture. Right now, I got a tiny little 14-inch. Well, I won't talk about that. But my picture is much smaller now. Can the Rangers make the playoffs? I want to be rewarded as a fan with some playoffs. That's it. I have no expectations.
Right.
Those
Boston also losing. That is relevant.
As of 8:31, we're back.
Right.
It changes minute by minute here.
We're back.
Oh, that's
by the way, Flyers also losing.
Oh, we're better than that.
They're a little further down the list, but
I want to talk what Nick DeCristo just brought up.
Oh,
how the fuck do the Rangers? They lead the league in bench minors. The only team
that's got to stop.
That is ridiculous.
The voting is now 60-40. There, we are getting some late counties coming in. Everybody knows these counties in upstate New York. They always vote no and they vote late.
Yes. I got a Watchmen TV right now. That's the picture I'm looking at. I love those Watchmen. You remember when they used to bring them to the game? People bring them to the game and you thought it was like, wow, this guy's watching the game and we're at the game. That's right, Diane. We're a +4 in goal differential. We got those regulation wins, which is good. It may become the deciding factor.
May come down to it.
But the too many men on the power and the shorthanded goals are like unbelievable with this team. But that benchmark, they had two in one period.
Yes, I don't.
How do you manage that?
I don't know.
Do you think it's the change of personnel with all these different guys? Because Trocheck got caught on one, so it can't be that.
Yeah, Trocheck was stepping over the boards. It
was dumb. You can't be dumb. Let's not be dumb, folks. All right. Yes, the 3 a.m. ballot dump from Atlanta is coming in. That's Maricopa County counted.
Maricopa County. I used to live in Maricopa County.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where Phoenix. Maricopa County.
Jeff, I would love the answer to that question. Is it on the coach or players? The too many men. It's got to be on the coach. Whoever's in charge of that.
I don't know. That question was asked last night in the group. Who is that on? And Josh Gimble says that's on the players.
Yeah, but Josh Gimble, he likes to tout his beer league, adventure. Is he really? I'll go with Josh. After thinking about it, he has played some organized hockey, so I'll go with him. Ice hockey. Yeah. Wow, Patty Duke's in-laws are from Maricopa. Wow, I'm learning a lot about you people from this tonight.
Are they out there in Sun City, Patty?
Is that where what you call Little Stevie Van Zandt? They want to play there?
No, that was South Africa.
Oh yes, I'm only kidding.
Tracy Rademacher's in Maricopa County out there.
Wow,
I think she's in Scottsdale, if I'm not mistaken.
I love any Dan Muse jab is good for me. No one even knows that guy's name.
Dan Muse.
Well, now that we mentioned Dan Muse, I think it's time to wrap up this show.
57-5 to 42-5. It is
closing.
It's closing the gap here. This is
Rob C is still in Maricopa.
Is that Rob? That might be
Coppola?
Rob. Yes, it might be Rob Coppola.
Yeah,
Coppola.
What will the Rangers get with probably a used hockey bag and
mid-round pick? Mid pick. Third, fourth round is probably about as good as you could expect for Riley Smith.
That's a bum.
Not disagreeing with you, but he's also a guy that teams look for. The type of
player. They will. They want that extra punch.
And he's had playoff success.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
You are a bum.
There will be a live stream of the viewing party. I don't think there'll be a trade deadline live stream because Well, I'll be working for one thing. 2, I have to go to the airport and get my daughter. Then I have to go to the airport and get my stepdaughter. We'll have an open thread. We always do on trade deadline day, but not a live stream. But we will live stream the viewing party for those of you that can't make it.
Yes, I would slap JT with that captaincy right away. But I don't know how many years does he have left on his contract?
Several.
Okay, so he'll be around.
Yeah, 4. I think it's 4 or 5 years.
If you want to make a statement, make Cooley an assistant, make Schneider an assistant, make JT, because the other guys, leadership 0. As far as I don't want to talk ill of the traded, but Chris Kreider as a leader, yeah, I guess, but he's not vocal. I want my guys to be vocal, and I want them to be like afraid to not call out other players in the room when their play isn't that great. I know that's kind of an old hockey testament kind of rule, like Messier used to do that, but now everybody's so fragile. You can't say, hey, listen, you got to pick up your check there. Like everybody's you got to have that dynamic where everybody's accountable in the room and can take the criticism and give it as well. But we shall see. I think Jay Timmel is that type of guy. He's saying it on the ice. You could see him talking to other players like, listen, do this, do that. He's like, as soon as he came here, there was no like getting to know you period.
No.
Yeah.
No getting his feet wet. Nothing. He jumped right in.
Yeah. That's what I like about him.
It's his team. I've said that, from the minute he got here, this is his team.
Well, if they can somehow mold this team around his style, that would be awesome. I think I would have an absolute conniption if they got Brady Tkachuk and him on the same team. But again, that's just wishful thinking right now. All right.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that is a good dream to have. Let's see. Why are the Islanders so dumb to not keep guys out of the trip? Out that are potential trade. No, I don't know. They're just a dumb organization. It's just they're an insomnia. That's all I could say.
The second period is just about over in Detroit. It is still 2-0 Carolina. Blue Jackets still trailing 4-2. Flames now over the Flyers 5-2.
Uh-oh.
Islanders are winning 1-0 over the Jets. And the Devils are losing.
Losing, and more losing.
Right. And the Twitter poll right now is at 58.7% say yes, Chris Kreider will remain a Ranger. 41% say no.
Wow. Well, as of 8:39, we're back.
We're back.
All right. I've got to go. I've got the mambo. I got to figure out what's going on with my nasal cavity.
All right, that wraps up another edition of the Blue Shirt Underground Show. We will see most of you, I hope, Saturday afternoon at McHale's. Looking forward to it. It's our only viewing party of the year. You won't want to miss it. Eddie, I'm looking forward to spending the day with you, my friend.
Yes, it's going to be a good old time.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Check us out, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all of it. We're everywhere. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music.
Yes.
Spotify.
The Lenny Randall Network.
Other places, too. Yes. Subscribe to the show. We'll see you guys soon. We love you. Eddie, always a pleasure.
Good night, Diane. Good night, everybody. Always a pleasure, Jim. As you know, your top drawers, they used to say back in the day.
I'm as cool as the Oysters ice skates.
Yes, there you go.
Let's go, Rangers. We're back. Good night, everybody.
Good night. We're back.